Dash, I second.
All right. We've got the meeting to motion to approve the agenda moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Signify aye or nay. No opposed, no abstentions. Moving on to action or next, the approval of minutes. Do we need to, or
Move the minutes, Bill Weisgerber.
yeah, has everyone had the opportunity move? Do we have a second?
I'll second. It's Don Palm.
Tom Palm. All right. Again, everyone in favor for the approval of the minutes from January 25th, signify aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nay. We get a little practice here. Any abstentions? Wait another moment. Hearing none, I believe those are approved. And the next action, I guess, is to call and approve a new chairperson. So I'll turn that back over to Tanya.
Thank you. I don't think I can officially nominate someone, but I would like to point out that our vice chair in the bylaws will move up to chair. So if someone could call for our new chairperson, then we can call for a vote.
And just adding that Jonathan Flores agreed to step into the chair position.
So it's kind of a funny motion. Are we moving that we follow the bylaws and move Jonathan Flora into the chair, which I would move?
Yeah,
I'll
all.
second that.
Okay, thank you. That was worded slightly awkwardly, so thank you, guys.
Yeah, they get. All right, so we've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Thank you, Jonathan.
We have those awkward Zoom moment pauses as somebody's waiting to get off versus the time. I guess hearing no, or we have other.
Call for the motion.
All right, call for the motion. Again, so I'm getting back in the routine of doing this. It's been a while. The practice I'm trying to stick with is ayes for in favor, nays, and then somebody would have to speak out if there's an abstention. So to call the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you and
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've been engaged from the beginning, so I'm super
Yeah.
glad that you are continuing to stay engaged.
Yep.
And that we will need a vice chair, so that's something to think about. And just to reiterate that the agenda and the coordination is done by the RCD, so it's not a onerous position.
And then I'll just add, Tanya, if you don't mind, that we will put nominations on the next agenda, next month's agenda for vice chair. So give us a call too, or give Tanya a call, or anybody at the RCD, or me a call at the RCD if you want to talk about that, or if you have suggestions, and we can kind of also talk before the next meeting, if that seems like a better way to do it.
I guess at this point we're moving on to member announcements, and trying to remember how that's been traditionally done. Is that something for me to call out, or have you guys got a better hook on it?
Yeah, you can do it.
All right. Well, and so the one thing I don't have in front of me is the list of all the different fire safe groups. And it's one of those things I was thinking about gathering, and I did not pull that. So I'm hoping some of those members, since I don't have that list to start off with, although I guess I could pick on my home fire safe council of Cape Valley and then move on to winter. But I should have that alphabetical list, but I just don't have it in front of me.
That's okay. We can.
It's on the agenda as
yeah.
a separate item, actually. So this is more like anyone in the room who has an announcement to make.
That's right. That's the member announcements. And then all the other ones are listed in reports.
That's right. I was scrambling to find our agenda.
I thought I had that, and but so any member announcements.
Jesse, Cape Valley Almond Festival on Sunday. Everybody want to come out and check out the blossoms in the Cape Valley? You're all welcome.
This is Kate Laddish with Yolo County In-Home Supportive Services Advisory Committee. And I want to thank Tanya and Heather and Allie for highlighting the ADA series that's being put on by I think it's the Fire Adapted Communities Learning Network. And so there was the first of four webinars, and then the next three. And as it goes along, it's going to get fairly applied. The first one was just an overview of the Americans with Disability Act, but it gets actually into information like, how to present things in an online format that works for people with disabilities, or how to actually bring in ADA considerations in the types of situations that might be thinking about. So you don't have to attend during the time. They if you sign up, they send a recording and send the slides. So I just wanted to highlight that, and also thank our CD staff for bringing that to attention. It's really useful.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay. Guess given that part, moving on to the reports.
Okay. Kristen Wyvoda, are you there? Because you were ahead of me on the reports.
Yes, I am here. Just having some IT issues still with my computer. But what we have to report out on is going back to that earmark of the Senator Dodd funding for $800,000 to look at sirens or some kind of communication strategy to improve communication in our moderate and high risk areas of our Western County. Currently, I've been working with procurement, and procurement asked me to first work with all of our cellular providers, since we have contracts with them, and see what kind of local assessments they could do and see if that would meet our needs. So I've met with T-Mobile and Verizon, waiting to meet with AT&T. And as soon as I compile a report of what our cell providers have to say, I will bring that back to this committee and provide a detailed assessment of kind of what our next steps should be, and see what the group thinks and how we should proceed. I will say some feedback I have received from the cellular companies right now is when they look at improving cellular coverage and adding cellular towers, they do look at it from a business standpoint of how many customers does this impact. And for us, our customer impact is very small when we look at the community that we would be reaching. And so there might not be the easiest path forward of getting cellular towers added to improve cellular service, just because they look at it with the who can we serve, who gets the most out of this, and is this worth our money going into it? Doesn't mean that it's a dead end, but just kind of want to put that out there so people can start thinking about ideas and solutions to this. Another thing that I'm working on is our alert and warning system and standing up our disaster service council, which our county ordinance just went to the board this week and will go back to the board on March 7th, establishing our disaster service council and the members. And one of our main tasks in the beginning will be addressing alert and warning and how to improve that throughout the county. And so this subject is a high priority, not just for, our high fire zones, but also throughout the county to address all the other needs. But outside of that, I don't have any other updates. I think Kurt might be on, and I'll see if he has any updates.
Yeah, the only update that I'll add is that I met with the tree folks and met with a lot of individual property owners last fall, like in November, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Fortunate or unfortunate, we got rain and that delayed the tree work. Then we ran into some issues with some contractual issues with our procurement, which we are resolving as we speak. So hopefully in the next week or two, we'll be able to continue moving forward on getting the tree work done that was planned for last fall. So if there's any questions or anything on that, let me know.
All
I show
right.
Kurt on mute.
Oh. What is happening? Huh. And yet we heard him. A Zoom ghost.
Zoom ghost, I don't know how that happened, but I'll see if anyone has any questions for us at OES.
This is Kate from IHSS. I have what I mean to be a quick question, and if it ends up being too long, we could leave it for another time. But with the cell towers, so my understanding is that the different cell companies have their own proprietary algorithms for, say, delivering wireless emergency alerts. And so I'm curious about if kind of the efficacy, if we use our money to put in the cell towers, how much are we then going to be at the mercy of cell companies' algorithms for those to actually then end up be of practical use?
So it depends on what kind of messaging you're looking at. So if you're looking at like IPAW's federal alerts, let's just say an earthquake hit San Francisco and they're alerting everyone in Northern California, that will go off the cell towers and won't be controlled by us. That will be sent from our state and federal partners and through the cellular companies and through their towers. If we are looking at our system currently, Everbridge, and always open to other systems, but our current system right now, the main focus is being able to push an SMS text out. Which is a little bit different than all aspects of putting up a cellular tower, because I could increase other features through a cellular company. All we're looking for is a basic connection that will get a flip phone a message if we hit send from ours, and we control that. What we don't control is if somebody has service or does not have service. So if we're able to improve cellular access, one, we would be improving access for them to receive all the levels of notifications from WIAs to IPAWs to all the ones that I know you're familiar with, Kate, and then also our local emergency alerting. So we wouldn't be at their mercy, but I know the question would come up too. Well, if it's Verizon and I have an AT&T phone, how does that benefit me? But the goal would be to try and get everyone to come in. And from what I've seen so far on the maps and talking with the companies in that area of our county, T-Mobile and AT&T have the best coverage in that area. Verizon, the towers are a little bit farther spread out. And so, it's a unique issue on how to cover our rural area. And I don't think it's unique to Yolo, but it is a unique issue when you start coming down these paths and not, trying to look at the whole access and functional needs and also people's desires. You know, not everyone wants a smartphone and be able to work on Wi-Fi calling and other aspects like that. So trying to figure out how can we do this and still meet everyone's needs and desires. And I know the siren idea was something thrown out there, but the only location for that is to be in Solano County, which then confuses people with what is the alert for? What does it mean? What am I supposed to do? If they're not home, how do they know not to return home? You know, there's a lot of questions that come up with that too. So I don't know if we have the answer at the moment, but I think what we're just trying to do is collect the information and kind of assess what our paths are and figure out if there's a way we can go down, or if there is something in the Fire Safe Council could do or write in support of, if we were able to find a solution that seemed to work and would improve coverage and ability to receive alerts in our valley.
Great, thank you so much.
Does anyone have any more questions for Kristen or Kurt? All right, thank you, Kristen. I will launch into my coordinator report, which you have all, I was sent in the packet last week, but I just wanted to point out for updated events, go to our Fire Safe Council website. And then the other change is that, or not change, but update is that the West Winters Fire Safe Council Steering Committee will be meeting March 9th. Other than that, you have seen everything. I just wanted to point out where we are in our CWPP process, which is that it needs 3 signatures, which is the Board of Supervisors. So it's going to be a consent item on the 21st. And we'll talk about that. The Yolo County Fire Chiefs will be requested to sign it. They're reviewing it now, and that will be hopefully at their meeting on the 14th. And then the final signatory is CAL FIRE, and the unit chief of the Sonoma Lake Napa unit has reviewed it and he's ready to sign it. So we're looking really good on that front. So does anyone have any questions about our CWPP process? Cool. Well, moving along in our RCD coordinator report, Kate is got the update on grant opportunities. Kate, raise it.
Hi, everybody. I just dropped the link to the grant table into the chat, and there's really nothing new to report on that. We are going ahead and have been working pretty diligently on the CAL FIRE Wildfire Prevention Grant. We have 3 partners now, and that's Solano RCD, Severa, and the West Winters Fire Safe Council. We're following the format and the content that we presented in the last Fire Safe Council meeting, with an emphasis on implementing projects that are in the CWPP with respect to hazardous fuels reduction. We're also doing some planning and some education. And the fuels reduction needs to be protecting structures and communities from wildfire. And we've got kind of a 3-pronged approach there. The high priority roads doing shaded fuel breaks, high risk fire communities, which involves defensible space for low income disabled and elderly households who are low income. And doing Puda and Cache Creeks and tributaries, ladder fuels, and supporting native trees and shrubs for that, and also continuation of the chipper program. So I believe there's space later in the meeting to talk about that, but I'd be happy to answer any quick questions about that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, we can talk a little. Oh, I see a hand raised.
Yeah, just quick comment. I'm working on the Resilience Hub grant and I am trying to get information. I'm working on it and trying to meet the 27th deadline. So it's in the works.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that. And good luck. If you need me to review anything or any, kind of editorial assistance, or you have questions, don't hesitate to drop me a line.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks for letting us know.
It's very cool. Okay, outreach. Holly.
Hi, everyone. So you've heard it a bunch of times now, but the Yolo County Fire Safe Council website has been launched. There's lots of resources, information on there, including a draft of the CWPP, request forms for the chipper and address sign programs, and an events calendar where we're posting our countywide Fire Safe Council meetings and also local Fire Safe Council meetings, and then any other relevant outreach events that you think should go up there. So if you have an event that you want me to post, just send me an email with the location details and anything that needs to be added to that, and I can post that on the events calendar. And then my other update is about the Yolo Prescribed Burn Association. Our kickoff meeting is tomorrow, Thursday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. Due to the oncoming weather that's happening, we've moved the event to an indoor location. It was taking place at a ranch in Cape Hay, but we've moved it to the Esparto Community Hall. So if you RSVP'd for that event, you should have received an email with the new address. So if you haven't, just let me know and I can send you that information over. The event is still the same time and on the same day. It's just that the meeting location has changed. And so after our kickoff meeting, we will be hosting monthly PBA meetings on the third Thursday of every month, which will lead up to our demonstration burn, which will be in spring or early summer. So after the kickoff meeting, our next meeting is in March on Thursday, March 16th at 4 p.m. And stay tuned because we'll be updating on what'll be happening at that meeting, and then the location for that as well. We're still determining that. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Our next report is Solano RCD, and there's nobody from Solano RCD here, but I'm dropping in the chat the link and passcode to the Solano County Fire Safe Council meeting, which is next Monday. I believe it's at 5:30. That is online, so easy to attend. And moving on reports, Cape Hay Valley Fire Safe Council.
I guess since I don't see Moira on, or at least I didn't earlier, I would add that last night we held an event up in Rumsey to introduce the Fire Safe Firewise communities to Rumsey, because there's we've basically learned the insurance has been redlined out for everybody in that zip code. So that one of the opportunities is to create some opportunity for demonstration of looking down that potential for creating a Firewise community, either in groups, or introduce that topic to the residents up in Rumsey, sort of the north end of the Cape Hay Valley.
Wow. Okay. Anything else from the Cape Hay Valley, folks? That's a big one. Thank you. Is there anyone here from West Winters? I know Neil is not here, and I think Ken is not either. All right. I think that's it for reports, unless there's anything else anyone would like to add. All right, Jonathan, I'm turning it back over to you to move along the agenda.
Well, so now we're moving on to item number 7 to discuss the wildfire protection grant and letter of support. And that is, I guess at that point, are we opening that up for discussion, or do we have a specific topic to present?
I can chime in. Well, so this is based on what the description that Kate just gave for the Cal Fire Wildfire Prevention Grant, and we talked about it at the last meeting as well. And so we're asking for Fire Safe Council support. It's one of the powers of the chair of the Fire Safe Council, in fact, to sign the support letter if the Fire Safe Council all agrees. So it's kind of one of the mechanisms that we wanted to build in at the beginning of all this, as we started to get into applying for funds, external funds, and just making decisions about, whether there's broad support, for the work we're trying to do. So this is we didn't send this in. Tracy, we can explain the project in more detail. Sure, I can do that. This is, while I do that, you can read through the support letter. But essentially, this is a grant to complete some of the priority projects that fit within the eligibility of the program, complete some of our CWPP projects. Most of it is vegetation oriented. So, and most of it is things that have not happened on a regular basis here. Shaded fuel breaks on county roads, for example, prescribed fire. The PVA funding we have now, the RCD has now, is for 3 demonstration burns, but we want to be able to fund more of those from an implementation perspective. It would cover prescribed grazing, basically a suite of types of practices that we need to, that the county is going to need to reduce fuel loads on the kind of landscape we have. So prescribed fire, prescribed grazing, shaded fuel breaks, fire break management. So creating a task force for the front country fire break is one of the CWPP projects we should be able to do as part of this project. There were lots of county roads identified in the CWPP that need some vegetation work. So it would be working with Caltrans and the communities in those areas to get trees limbed up and other fuel ladders removed. Fuel ladder treatment on the creeks and the high fire areas, and doing those kinds of work. So there's a lot of implementation work, private consulting firms and contractors would be included to actually get the work done. But if you look at it from what we've been trying to do is figure out how to build a program around this in a way that sets us up for a long-term management strategies for the main kinds of fuels management that are going to be needed here, so that we can do more of this work. So that actually means getting the CEQA set up for various kinds of treatments using Cal VTP and other pathways. It means getting staff trained up to do burn plans, smoke plans, grazing plans, forest management plans, or hiring out consulting that can do those things. And then also all the education and resources that we can provide, and that the partners all the partners that are involved in this project can provide. So it will also be purchasing equipment for the community fire safe councils, there is a $750,000 cap on equipment purchases. The cap for the grant is $5 million. And I will say that Cache Creek Conservancy is also writing one of these grants, and we're collaborating with them closely so that we can show that we're working together. But it's, yeah, Kate put it up on the screen, and this is what this grant covers: wildfire prevention planning, the fuels reduction, and the education. Bill, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just unclear. The letter of support is separate and apart from a grant application, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of the letter of support is what?
The purpose of this letter of support is to be included in the grant application, which I believe is due March 15th, to show broad support from the Fire Safe Council stakeholder members that this is something they support. So it's CAL FIRE will be looking at what kind of community support.
Oh, so the Fire Safe Council is supporting the RCD in this grant application, then, correct?
The RCD is the applicant. That's right.
Okay, gotcha. So it was unclear to me, but now I got it. Thank you.
Well, this is we're in our trial run of doing this, and I'm thinking to myself, 12 different ways I can do this better next time. And putting, sharing a project description and some of the key, outcomes would probably be a way to do that.
Yeah, you answered my question, and it's so essentially the item before us is the Fire Safe Council's endorsement of this grant application by the RCD, correct? Yeah, okay. Which sounds great. I mean, it sounds like a fabulous opportunity, and I would support that. I would even move that I would make the motion that the Fire Safe Council sign this letter of support to the CAL FIRE Wildfire Prevention Grant for the RCD.
And we could take that as a motion, but is there any other discussion probably before we continue on the motion and voting process?
I'll second the motion, Elaine.
All right, so we have a vote or a motion and a second, and I guess again I'll ask: are we still have any other discussion, or should we move to the question, to vote for the question? Try, yeah.
Move the question.
All right. This, again, same process. We have to support this grant application. All in favor, aye. Those in favor, nay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Appears to be the motion is carried. I hope we've checked that we do have our full quorum.
Can you verify that, Ally?
I thought of that after the other vote.
I know, me too.
Yes,
Remember my
we
old
do.
Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah, we have a quorum.
Yeah, and looks like we have a question from Ron Turner's Senator Dodd's office.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add that if someone could send over a template regarding this CAL FIRE Wildfire Prevention Grant as a support letter, the senator would be glad to sign it and have it submitted with the application.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
We are, well, I'll send that out right away.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I guess
then-
that means at some point I need to sign this somehow.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
meet with you in the next couple days,
Yep.
and you can sign it.
Sarah
Another question.
Morgan has her raise.
Yeah, will you be sending out the final grant application before you submit or once you submit so that we can see what specifically you're saying
We
for
could do that.
deliverables and activities? Okay, that'd be great.
Mhm. We have a pretty, we're not done. We probably have 2 weeks before we're fully done on this, but if we can certainly send a project description or even that first section. Kate, do you think you could drop that into the chat, or we could send it out, the project summary? We could go ahead and send that out right now. It's like a 1-page intro.
I am not sharing the screen right now. I can drop that information in the chat though. I don't have, I think it's Tanya's screen that's being shared.
Yeah, do you want to share yours?
I'm happy.
Okay.
That would be great. I can't do it because I'm co-host, Tanya. So.
Okay, I'm making Kate co-host.
Did you want me to share the brief description, or what are you wanting me to share?
From the scope of work, that first section of the project summary would be awesome. And it includes who we're working with, and includes the main pieces. And then there's a whole bunch of CWPP projects that could fall within it. We don't know how much we'll be able to do. We're going to have to go off of other efforts, nearby efforts where we've been able to get some cost estimations on. So we're going to, have to make a guess on how much work we can actually get done. But we have Tanya was able to, we all kind of went through all of the possible CWPP projects that can fall within it, and it's quite a few.
Would it be possible to email it as well as put it in the chat? But I find it much more accessible.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Because you'll just see it right here.
See this, or should I Zoom? Zoom?
I think this is fine. This is still like a super duper work in progress. That's just, alert, not a time for editing, but, and that's not actually the most, this is the magic behind the scenes, everybody. This is our server version, and our Google version is called, has a different project name on it. Has been updated since then. But it's called it's actually called the Yolo County RCD Fire Resilience Program. And it will affect probably more than 150 habitable structures by the time we get all of the work done. But if you scroll past that first paragraph, the wildfire prevention efforts will include coordination with the Yolo County. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Caltrans, Cal Fire, other agencies, qualified consultants who are experts at CEQA and standing up CEQA to plan vegetation management with an emphasis on conservation and a focus on CWPP projects on creeks, roadsides, defensible space, and critical fuel breaks. So that's the main thing that we're going to be trying to do. It's probably going to take a full year to get through a lot of that, but we'll be able to continue the chipper program and some other things that we've already started that we're able to get notices of exemption to get work going on. Other things that will need more CalVTP and other pathways for compliance will take longer. So we're hoping to get really going. It's almost a 5-year grant, it's 4.5 years. We think by year 2, it's going to be, we'll be able to do a lot more work. So in coordination with County of Yolo, CAL FIRE, Solano RCD, County and Community Fire Safe Councils, the USDA Natural Resources Service, UC Cooperative Extension, which we need to add here, who's providing a letter of support. We're going to be using public and private contractors as well to complete CWPP projects, so implement throughout the high fire risk areas in Western Yolo County and parts of Solano County through the Solano RCD. So the Solano and Yolo County RCDs, we do provide technical assistance and natural resource technical assistance, but we need to create a team that will build its expertise and training in a lot of these fields reduction things we haven't been able to do in the past. Prescribed fire, prescribed grazing, fields reduction, defensible space, and build up our expertise on those. And then implement things. So high priority roads, management of critical field breaks, defensible space. Some of this is going to be pure coordination among agencies, and some of it is going to be, we are hiring the contractors to get these things done. We'll have to set up eligibility criteria for low income, disabled and elderly households for defensible space. There's hazardous tree and ladder fill management on Cache Creek, Pewter Creek, the tributaries and high fire risk areas, and then implementing more burns through the Yolo PDA, and then continuing the chipper program. So a lot of this is all going to happen simultaneously, and some of it will take some time. And then the wildfire prevention stuff happens, it's going to continue what we're already able to do now, develop trainings, workshops, technical assistance, information, just continuing to get people the information they need to do this work. And we'll do we want to do specific trainings for community volunteers who are wanting to help in defensible space assessments and safe, effective equipment use. We're talking with Severa, for example, the list of equipment that the fire district we would purchase with the grant funds for the fire district so they can work and maintain in those areas. So it's still a work in progress. It's pretty exciting. It's also, we're still in process. So this is the main thing. And then we can show you, which projects they will likely activate either through from a program approach, so that we're set up for similar projects that come up as we move through the next, the first 3 or 4 or 5 years of a CWPP. CWPPs typically we're looking about 3 or 4 or 5 years forward. So we'll probably be, as we work in the space, identifying more that we want to do as a community. And we want to set ourselves up for, with the information we need, the technical resources we need, the compliance stuff that we need, the relationships we need with all of you and other agencies we have to rely on to get this work done, and especially our landowners too. So, okay, I've probably talked more than you would care to hear.
I just want to tag on to what Heather's saying, and the more if we are successful in obtaining these grant funds, the more projects we get done and the more of these relationships that we build. Particularly, we're starting a new relationship with Caltrans, and we're trying to get the same thing off the ground with Bureau of Land Management. The better situated we'll be to get more funding as it comes available. So this is crucial. It's hopefully we will get these funds, and then that will start us on a process of getting good work done and showing that we can do it, and continuing to get good work done, get the funding for it, and then get it done on the ground.
Okay, thank you for approving the letter of support and then listening to more of this information, and happy to just give us a call if you have anything else you want to know about how this is moving along. We've got a couple more weeks before we turn it in. We're hoping to be almost done by the end of next week, but yeah.
Okay. Guess we're moving on to item number 8 to recommend the Yolo County Wildfire Protection Plan to the Yolo County Board of Supervisors for approval. And I'm just curious of those who saw this meeting notice last week, looked at that 64-page document for review.
I read it.
It's pretty awesome if you ask me, but I'm a little biased.
It's really well done. I read it several times and given Tanya feedback on it. And, I think it's, it's as polished as it's going to get at this point. It's ready for submittal. And, great job on, all the staff work that went into that. And, it's a months long process, or feels like maybe years long process. I don't know, but I think it's ready. And, I would be happy to make the motion to approve sending it forward to the board.
I guess we have a motion. Any other discussion or a second?
I'll second Elaine.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, or should we call the question? I would, for those who haven't reviewed it, or I think it's been discussed here a few times, but it is a really well put together document.
I just want to join. I just want to join the other folks who have voiced support and enthusiasm for what staff's done with this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, hearing no more objections or voices of support. Are we ready for the question?
Yeah, I'd say call the question, Jonathan.
All right, let's call the question. So we got the ayes to approve forwarding the approval of the wildfire protection plan to the Board of Supervisors for approval. All in favor, aye. Those opposed, nay. Aye.
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 Any nays? Abstentions? That sounds to me to be a pass.
All right, I will be proud to send it off to the Board of Supervisors with your endorsement.
Yeah. And then we're to item number 9, which is adjourn and set the next meeting for the Wednesday, the 22nd at 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m.
Is everyone comfortable with changing it to a 1 hour meeting? We have yet to go over, even with meaty topics like we had today. So 4 to 5.
Seems like a good window.
All right, suppose we have to vote on that to adjourn if we're
Move to adjourn. We're done.
Move to adjourn.
You got it done.
Well done.
All in favor? Anything else for wrap up before we close?
Thanks for sharing, Jonathan.
I'll get my practice back on this. It was much smaller groups in person the last time. I had to chair an organization, so at this point, I guess I'll call for the all in favor.
Aye.
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 Looks like it carried. Thank you.